Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as is our usual practice before the game, we have the Breakfast Club players of the game, and we have a very special guest with us, and one you know quite well. The player of the game for the last game was, of course, Tony Mazzatesta against Blue Mountain, and I've read to you in the last broadcast his many accomplishments. We came into the game tonight. He's 86 yards short of a 1,000-yard season. That's with 2 full games to play. Quite an accomplishment. You're going to see he's very close to the all-time punt return record. He set the kickoff return and the combined kickoff and punt return last week. So again, you're going to be watching him do that. There's just not enough can be said about this young man. And I might add, this is the 5th time he's been the Breakfast Club player of the game. That is unprecedented since the Breakfast Club was formed. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Mazzatesta. Tony, let me ask you the first thing. I might have covered this at one other time. We see you now. You're breaking these records. You're getting very close to some that people thought were going to stand forever, quite frankly. Some of these records are really big time. When you started this season, you knew you had a great season last year. Your senior year was coming up. Did you think personally that this was going to happen? Were you shooting for some kind of these goals as you went along, or was this a surprise as it came?
No, I don't like to shoot for any goals. Just try and win. Hopefully it'll take care of itself.
Okay, well, how do you feel now? You've broken some records that, again, as I said, people thought would stand forever. The Zavaric records, when people saw him play, and I personally saw him play every game, I would have said then that no one could have done the kind of things he'd done. You've done them. What do you think about that now as a player?
It's nice to have. It's nice to be reckoned and mentioned with that group. But like I said, I like to get a championship more than those.
Team player. How does the team now, you've set some records here, and of course you didn't do it by yourself, and you're the first one every time you come on this telecast to say the same thing. You thank your line, your teammates. How does the team feel about it? Have they discussed it with you, or is it something you talk about now that you're getting close to some big records with the 1,000 yards coming up and things?
Yeah, with the line, I give them credit because without them and the blockers on the punt returns and kickoff, without them I can't do anything. So I give them all the credit in the world, but as for them saying anything, Not really. We just try and go out and win.
Pretty much a business-like attitude right through the whole season. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Before you leave me, I do want to mention that some of you who watched the Powder Puff game that was held last night will hear the color commentator, which was, of course, Mr. Mazzatesta. And I just want to thank him because he had some. If we ever get it on, okay? But if we do, you'll hear him. And I just want to say that this morning he took time out of his very busy schedule. A lot of things on his mind, big games coming up. He took a little bit of time out of his schedule to give me some pointers and pretty much help me. Pretty much tell me how to do what I was doing, gave me some inside corners. And, of course, I can tell him how to run now. You're not using that left hip enough, all right? That's the one thing. The other thing, the big question with, again, Mr. McPhee just yelled across, what are you going to do with all the footballs you've won now in the last year?
My family had a reconditioned cellar, and they made a trophy case for me and my brothers, and they made a shelf for the balls, so it'll go up there.
At the rate you're going, they're going to have to expand the cellar somewhat in the way it looks.
I hope my brother gets more. Adds to it.
That's a fine attitude. Tony, thanks a lot. Listen, we're all going to be watching you tonight. The best of luck now. The next game, if we go into postseason, playing the rest of your career. Thanks.
Thank you.
We have with us tonight Coach Dimnick, and I'm going to go to my usual first question, but it's going to be somewhat of a long one, I understand, tonight about the injury report.
Well, we do have some bad situations tonight. John Quinn is definitely out, and we got some bad news on him today. He could have a torn ligament. We won't know for several more days. So he's definitely out. Bobby Delbo will not play again. His knee is coming along, but he should be okay by next week, hopefully. A couple other guys are nursing, some kind of serious bruises, but they'll all be playing.
Well, in lieu of some of these injuries that you're talking about, we understand that there's going to be some different players in different positions tonight. Can you let us in on some of that?
Well, Tony Mazzatesta was out also. Mazzy's was out sick all week. He didn't even practice. He could have practiced yesterday, but I didn't want him to run, and no sense using up that energy that he had. I want to build up a little bit more for tonight. Tony will play. How much, I don't know, because of his illness, So Mike Hawkins will get some action there, both offensively and defensively. Marcus Startzel will move from fullback. You're going to move him to end in John Quinn's place. And I guess that's the extent of the changes offensively. Defensively, we'll be going with Bobby Schick will move at safety, and Dave Wislowski will move over to a corner spot to give us a little more run support, which we haven't been we felt we haven't been getting enough of. And in addition, we'll start another Fantini. Jason Fantini will start at nose guard, and with John Quinn out, we're going to move Dave Fantini back there in Delvo's place, and Mike Machuzak will be in the linebacker in John Quinn's place.
Okay, this is a team that's 5-4. You know, it comes into a game, and I understand that there are some interesting implications to this game for them. Maybe you can enlighten us on that.
Well, they're in the running for a spot in the District 11 playoffs. They're a AAA school, and if they should be fortunate enough for them to beat us, and unfortunate for us if they beat us, it knocks them out of the playoffs, and it puts us in instead of them. So I guess maybe we better get that message to them so they don't go getting too hot out there for us. We want that kind of a game from them. But this is an important game for us naturally because we're in a good spot to win the wild card spot. It's far from over. You know, we don't have a lock on. A lot of people think we do, but we've got to win our 2 games, and things have to go our way for us to make it.
Okay, quickly about tonight's game, we know what we're going to be doing. How about West Hazelton? Is there anything we should be looking for there? Any players or special things they might do that other teams haven't?
Well, their top back is number 32. His name is Barron. He's an outstanding running back. He's got good moves. He's quick. He's tough. He also catches the ball. He'll give us some fits out there, especially when he comes back on that trap over the middle. We call it a slash trap. I know he's going to catch us on that because our linebackers will be too anxious to move out of there, and that will cause us some trouble. That particular play. Their quarterback, a kid by the name of I think he said Hal Chezik. He's a tough kid. In fact, it's a veteran team. They have 9 starters back from last year, both offensively and defensively. He's a pretty good quarterback, and he likes to throw the out patterns, and he'll make things interesting.
So you're expecting a tough game, as always, with this team, just like all the other ones.
Yeah, no question about it. You know, we expect a tough game from them. I think they're going to give us one, and I just hope that we don't have any bad breaks to put us in a hole, give us any kind of trouble.
Okay, Coach. Good luck tonight. Bring a big win home, and let's not hope we get anybody else hurt for the rest of the season here.
Yeah, I think we had our share of injuries so far, Warren, and I'm just hoping we don't get any more, especially at this point.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have the WKMC lineman of the game, and the lineman of the game for the Blue Mountain game is, of course, Jeff Costello, our center. Jeff's a junior. Last year he was a starting guard. He was moved to center, and I played center, I might add, when my undistinguished career back in the early 70s, so I know a little bit about it. And one of the first things I want to ask you, other than congratulating you, is we saw 2 quick penalties which were directly on you in the beginning of the Blue Mountain game. What happened out there?
Well, it was partly my fault, but it was the refs. I told him every game, I told the ref, put the strings up, because I center like that, and he wouldn't put them up. And the first time, I just accidentally lifted it up, and he got me with that. Second time, though, I just rolled it, and he just said, just call a penalty. And I explained to him, and coach even told him, put the strings up. Then after that, he...
So there's basically a misunderstanding between you and the referee. Okay. Well, we have an interesting sidelight on Jeff here, and every coach that we've talked to, and they're going to say exactly the same thing every time. Jeff's known pretty much as an Iron Man kind of player, one of the throwbacks, and being called a throwback in this kind of football, is quite an accomplishment since they're talking about some pretty big players. But Jeff is known for playing through any kind of injury. It doesn't matter what it is. He'll go up to the coach the night before the game and tell him he's fine, no problem. Let me ask you something. Is that more of a mental thing? I mean, is that something you just condition yourself to do, or because you had a pretty serious injury in the last game or 2 games ago?
Well, I had not much time to play yet in high school, and if I could possibly play, I'll play. Just want to get not much time left here, and I like to play for Mount Carmel.
Oh, man, there's an attitude you don't hear very often, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't matter what's the matter with him. He wants to go out and finish his career and play every game he possibly can, and we've seen he's played an excellent center position for the whole year. He's the anchor of that line, and remember, as a center, everything that Mount Carmel area does on the field begins with him on offense. So we want to congratulate him. Thank you for coming by, and we expect to see you again before the season's over, Jeff. Okay, good game. Okay, we have with us tonight the WKMC player of the game for the Blue Mountain game, and he's a newcomer to us. We have with us Joe Dare, plays in the defensive backfield, and let me tell you, for one, I think you were the leading tackle last week against Blue Mountain from what Jose tells me, leading tackler on the team, which is one of the reasons you were awarded, because Jose, myself, and Bob give the award. But the other reason is, and it was in the Blue Mountain, we noticed it, but we've seen it in flashes throughout the whole season. You're known pretty much as the designated hitter in the defensive backfield. You always manage to tattoo somebody before the end of the game when you get in. Is that something you look to do when you go into a game?
Just hit as hard as you could. That's all.
Well, you certainly do that. You play more of a spot position. You don't always start, but then you come in, or sometimes you finish the game and all. Is that hard for you to do mentally as a player, or are you just ready every game to do whatever's called upon?
Just whenever he tells me. I just do what they tell me to do.
And you don't have any. It doesn't matter to you. I mean, what position you're in the backfield or anything. You just go in and play.
Hit somebody.
Hit somebody. There's two guys that we like. One guy doesn't care what he does as long as he gets in. This guy just wants to hit somebody. So listen, we want to thank you for stopping by. It was good to have a new face with us. And again, there's a couple of games left. We'd like to have you back. Good luck, Joe.
Welcome to the Mount Carmel Silver Bowl in Mount Carmel, Pennsylvania for tonight's big game between the Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes and the West Hazelton Wildcats. And even though, Warren, this isn't as an important as a game for either team, really, it appears that we could have a good one with West Hazelton's record being 5-4.
Well, they're a fine team. They've been in every game they've played. There weren't any big blowouts on their schedule. And they're in the hunt for a playoff game, although they're in that goofy situation where a loss probably might be better than a win. I'm sure they're not going to do that. And on the other hand, again, of course, we're looking at Massatessa tonight. There's some big records that can be broken tonight. And, I know all eyes are going to be on him every time he touches the ball. So there is a lot of excitement in the game for us. And I think we should mention that as you're watching this game, it might hear it be a little quiet, that there is no public address system right now in the stadium. There was some electrical problems at the beginning of this game, so I don't think you're going to be hearing an echo right now as you usually have.
Onside kick to start off for West Hazelton, and was covered over there by a Red Tornado.
Well, there's a little bit of excitement as you begin the game, Bob.
On the ball was Scott Latero. He recovered the fumble or the onside kick.
That doesn't happen very often on the opening kickoff.
Well, I think you're going to see West Hazelton pull out some different stops tonight. Right away, not kicking the Mazzatesta was one of them.
Well, that's a smart move as opposed to what Blue Mountain insisted on doing through most of the game. They didn't, and that's good.
First down, Red Tornadoes from the 47. Weslotsky back to pass, throws the long one to Mazzatesta, and just a little bit over his head.
He got sandwiched in between two defenders there, and he wasn't able to get all the way clear, but it was a perfect pass. He just had to run underneath it. He couldn't get clear. Again, I'll remind you, Tony Mazzatesta needs 86 yards rushing on the ground to gain 1,000 yards for the season. He's also very close to the punt return record, which we'll keep you posted on as we go through the game. Our ace stat man, Joe Gonzalez, was on the sidelines, and he'll be signaling to us when either one of these records is broken.
Chicatano with the ball, breaks to the left. He's to the 40, to the 30. One man to stop him and runs him out of bounds on about the 18-yard line. Running him out of bounds for the West Hazelton Wildcats was Tom Halsack.
That was a good play. Again, it was excellent blocking on the line. I mean, he wasn't touched anywhere near the line. Everybody was sealed off. It's a play Mount Carmel was used repeatedly through the season. There was nothing new about it. And Chicatano made a nice run along the sidelines.
First down, Red Tornadoes. The ball's on the 20-yard line. 11:30 left in the first quarter. Mazzatesta with the ball. And good for about a 9-yard gain.
Again, nothing fancy there. Now, we as we spoke with Coach Dimnick at Breakfast Club this morning and a little bit prior to the game as the team was warming up, West Hazelton is a team, unlike other teams, where they're going to use probably a multiple defense look. They don't stay in one particular defense. Most high school teams, and we're one of them, we play one solid defense usually throughout the game. West Hazelton has been known throughout the season to switch back and forth, and I think you're going to see some of that tonight.
Pitch back to Chicatano. Good for the first down and more as he's still up on his feet down to the 1-yard line.
Great second effort on Chicatano's part. Great second effort. He just wouldn't go down. He was looking for the goal line. He was very close to it. Good hard running.
First down and goal to go for the Red Tornadoes early in the first quarter. Weslotsky hands off to Hawkins. Good for the Tornado touchdown.
Well, he slipped a new guy in the game for that one moment of time, and he went in for the touchdown. Again, Hawkins is showing us something just as he did against Blue Mountain last week.
Well, I think we saw from last week that Hawkins can carry the ball and is the future of the Mount Carmel tailback situation or halfback, whatever you want to call it.
Definitely.
Weslotsky changes the shoe. Shidleski in the hold. Snaps down, kicks up, and it's good. With 10:24 remaining in the first quarter, the score, the Red Tornadoes 7, West Hazelton 0.
We don't talk about the line probably as much as we possibly could, but there was just a gaping hole. The man was untouched. Hawkins had no one hit him. Michuzak and Costello opened a giant hole. And I want to also take one opportunity as I watch the game a second time, and I do what you do. I watch the game as much as I can on a Wednesday rebroadcast. And I did Mike Michuzak a bit of an injustice last week. Several of those big hits, which I credited to Startzel or someone else along the line of defense, were actually Michuzak's hits. And I don't like to make a mistake about that. And he's played a great game last week and all the games. And again, just let me say that it was my mistake there. He's really had some great vicious hits out there, and that's what you like to see.
Halsick carried the ball on the kickoff. Tackle made by number 69, Michuzak.
And there you have it. As I speak, he shows us exactly what he's made of. And I might add also, he's in the game right now. You'll be watching him and Fantini at the linebacker position.
And a new nose guard in there, but it's still a Fantini, and it's Jason Fantini.
And if you see where he just stood up from, there's absolutely no difference. He was 4 yards into the backfield, just as his brother always was.
That's right.
So we don't expect to see much difference as far as the nose guard position goes. Both Fantini's excellent players. Of course, Jason comes in as a freshman. He doesn't have the experience maybe and some of the savvy that his brother has accumulated over his 4-year career here. But he's a hard-nosed football player, and you can expect to see great things from him as the game progresses.
2nd down and 12 for the Wildcats. The ball on the 35-yard line. Halchik drops back the pass. Kovaleski chasing him. Lobs a little one and really went to no one on that play.
And he was very close to the line of scrimmage, too. Very close. I see that the referees are conferring with each other, but he's going to be just behind the line. And West Hazelton, there's not a whole lot you say about them. They're kind of a nondescript team as far as offense goes. They line up in a basic formation. They have one good running back. You'll see them do the same thing we do, pass, as they just did there, quick look-in pass. They don't do anything special. They don't run a veer or a wing tee or anything like that. So
there's the play where they went with a quick look in, Warren, and as Coach Diminick told us at Breakfast Club this morning, Weslowski would be a cornerback, and he was covering that man all the way over there. 4th down situation for the Wildcats. 9:17 left in the first quarter. 2 speedsters deep for the Red Tornadoes. 34 Mazzatesta and 21 Chicatano. Nice kick off the fingers of Mazzatesta. He picks it up on about the 25. He's to the 30, coming down the sidelines and knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Made a great run back out of what looked like a dangerous play there when the ball was fumbled. Presence of mind to pick the ball up, turn upfield immediately, and he gained good yardage on it.
First down and 10, Red Tornadoes. Weslowski up the middle to Mazzatesta. Goes to right about the 46-yard line. That's good for a 7-yard gain.
Now, Mount Carmel doesn't look like they're having a lot of trouble, with West Hazelton. They're opening some gaping holes up there on every offensive series so far. If that continues to be, it's going to end up to be a long game, I think, for West Hazelton, the same it was for Blue Mountain.
I think Mount Carmel's line has shown so much improvement over the last few weeks. That we'll continue to see this as these games progress.
Yeah, they were a good line to begin with, and they got better. So
Mazzatesta with the ball. Brings it right up to the 48-yard line. Good for a 2-yard gain.
And again, it's hard to tell. West Hazelton obviously understands that a loss tonight is advantageous to them. I mean, it's going to put them in the district playoff picture. If they win tonight, unfortunately, it's going to take them out of it. It's just an odd thing that happens with the numbers. And I wonder what goes through those kids' minds right now as they think about that possibility, because they don't go to postseason play all that much.
Fantini, the ball carrier, and it looks like it's good for a Mount Carmel first down.
Wildcat football fortunes, I would want to point out, though, have been on the upswing. I personally saw West Hazelton 2 years ago come into Southern Columbia. Southern Columbia area had a great team. They played at Southern Columbia, and West Hazelton walked away with a win. So, they are an up-and-coming football team.
Pitch back to Chicatano. And he's got blockers out in front of him, and they did their job and got Mount Carmel the first down. Flag on the play.
That's going to go against us for sure. I can see who he's pointing at even on that play. So that's going to be 15 yards, I'm sure, unsportsmanlike conduct.
He's showing them the first down first. It's going to be after the play. It's going to be a dead ball, personal foul.
Yeah, it's going to move them back
against the Red Tornadoes. So they're going to have a first down and 25.
And just a little extracurricular hitting going on at the end of after the whistle had blown before the runner got up. But I want to point out that if you saw that run, when we talk about Mazzatesta having such great running ability and running the ball upfield, notice where he was on that play, Bob. He was out front and blocking and paving the way, and that's a great thing to see, a star running back who also blocks.
Wazlowski, almost picked off by number 87, Joe Latier.
And you see the difference in Mount Carmel area tonight is in the backfield. You don't see Startzell shuttling in and out.
Flags on the play.
You don't see Startzell shuttling in and out of the game because he's been switched to end to replace Quinn. And so you're going to see Fantini and you're seeing Chicatano bear the brunt of the fullback position right now. And, of course, Fantini has played the position the whole year on and off, so he's no problem. Chicatano, for the most part, is probably seeing, for the first time, actually some fullback play. So it'll be interesting to watch him as we go through.
Marcus
and also you're seeing Hawkins. Now, here we see Hawkins move into that fullback spot and
Right.
Chicatano back out in his usual flanker position.
Marcus should be okay at end, too, though. Inside handoff on a reverse to 21 Chicatano, and it was read nicely by number 1, Heath McDaniel from West Hazelton.
They had no qualms about Startzell playing in. Obviously, we talked with Coach this morning. They're not worried about it. It's just that it's a new position.
Right.
He didn't play much in that position. Plus, it juggles the backfield a little bit, is why you're seeing a little bit of different action going on.
Mount Carmel has a third down. The ball on West Hazelton's 47-yard line. Wazlowski drops back to pass, looks over the middle, and shoots it over the head of Startzell. Intercepted by number 32, Paul Barron of the Wildcats. So West Hazelton will take over here with a first down on the 27-yard line.
I also want to point out, I didn't say this in the beginning, and Coach Dimnick didn't mention it while we were discussing the lineup changes, but you see number 79, John Motto, starting his second straight game. And he had a great game against Blue Mountain, really played very well. And I just watched him on that last play, and he's playing excellent football. So it's good to see that they got, a fill-in guy, hasn't played much, walks in and plays great football. You don't miss a beat with him.
Number 33, the ball carrier, Scott Zoskin. Tackle made in there by number 36, Marcus Startzell, a name we hear quite often through our broadcasts.
The other player you want to notice here now, as we juggled around on defense, notice Hawkins is playing
cornerback
in the defensive backfield. So there's another big difference you see tonight.
Oh, nice play made in there by number 69, Choose.
Yeah, there you see. I just get done a little while ago trying to explain to you that I missed a couple of him, and he's not going to make me do that again, is he? He's going to be in every play, and I'm going to have to say it every play.
Right now we have a officials timeout on the field. Third down and 3 for the West Hazelton Wildcats. Ball on the 35-yard line of West Hazelton. West Hazelton tries a play up the middle, and I think the initial stop in there was by Startzell.
Startzell Fantini was also in on the initial part of that play.
Fourth down for the Wildcats. It looks like they could go into the shift or they're going for it, one or the other.
I was going to... Okay, Jason, that's all right.
That's okay, Jason.
There you see a freshman mistake. That's all that was, a little bit of over-eagerness. They caught him, and I'll say one thing for him. When he went offside, he went all the way, and that's what you like to see. He didn't fool around and just go a little bit. That was a good play. What are you going to do?
We were calling it from up here, though. They're going into a shift. It's too bad you can't put an earphone in that helmet for him.
Somehow just motion
you could have helped him out there a little.
That's no big deal at all there. And to see the problem there is he and his brother are just so used to being in the backfield all the time. He thought he belonged back there.
That's right.
That's what happens.
West Hazelton gains about 3 yards on the play. Tackle made in there by number 64, Mike Kogut.
West Hazelton's got some nice-sized players out there. I'm looking at 66, I guess it is. And 66 is one large human being out there on the line of scrimmage. Yeah, 66. And over on this side, now he's switching. They switch him. 66 is coming to the strong side all the time, and 77 then flip-flops to the weak side of the line.
Halsek up the middle, and a nice stop made in there by Jason Fantini.
He just made up for that offside.
He made up for his
sure
offside
there.
right there.
No problems. I'm sure that Jason's going to take a lot of ribbing on that one from his teammates when they see that on the film.
Three wide receivers to the left side for West Hazelton Wildcats. Halchik back to pass. Over the middle. And a nice stop made in there.
That's
by
by
Weslowski.
Weslowski, of course. You know he was going to be close to a play like that.
He's not in the West Hazelton lineup, and they told us to change number 31 to 30, but there's no number 31 either. So
Well, it's not important.
We got a problem with that guy. Halchik on the draw play to number 32.
Read nicely there by Swaldy.
Swaldy, right.
He smelled that out. And so you're seeing him do that all year long. You don't really fool him. They've tried that. Many teams have tried it with that little draw player, that screen pass right over to his side. He doesn't budge. You don't fool him at all.
Your defensive ends are playing the ball game when you see that happen because they're holding their position and coming over and making the stop.
Exactly.
Second down for West Hazelton. Nice stop made in there again by Dave Fantini.
It's the law firm of Fantini
Fantini
and Fantini right now controlling the line of scrimmage down there.
1:34 left in the first quarter. West Hazelton putting on a drive. They're on Mount Carmel's 40-yard line. Halsick drops straight back to pass. Rush put on him. Pass was to number 87, Joe Latier, but it was just a little bit over his fingertips. But he was covered well by Weslowski and Startzel.
Yeah, both of them were down on that play. They both read it well and covered well. We're a little bit confused about who's supposed to be back there receiving.
Well, I think
Weslowski's going to do it now.
Right, with it being fourth down there, they just put West back for the safety's sake. Nice kick, getting a nice roll down there.
They're going to down that on
and
the 1 yard line.
It on the one.
That's what happens when you let a ball roll loose like that. You know, that's the chance you take. That if it takes, especially in a field tonight, it rained all day. The field is soft, a little bit muddy. The ball didn't take a big bounce. It rolls slowly, and they caught it. So Mount Carmel's going to have to play some heads-up football on offense down this deep by their own goal line. I think we got kind of fooled on that, to tell you the truth.
I know.
I don't think that's what we wanted to do.
Well, I don't think they thought they were going to punt, and neither did I. I really had no feeling that they were going to punt at that point. 52 seconds. Mount Carmel has the ball. It's now placed on about the 2-yard line. Weslowski hands off to Mazates. No, Maz didn't have the ball. Fantini was carrying the ball. Good for about a 2-yard gain.
We're being tested now in these last couple of games with all these new players floating in and out. We've got to play heads-up ball up here now to remember who's
especially when you get
there.
a 32 and a 22. Hawkins is now back in the game for Fantini. Mazates to the ball carrier. He's out to the 10. One more fake, and he's to the 15, and he'll have a Mount Carmel first down.
Typical Mazates run. Stop the line of scrimmage, bounces off, rolls a little bit, gives that fake hip, and he's out in the open, and one guy there to bring him down. It would have been a touchdown. And he continues to march towards 1,000-yard seasons, ladies and gentlemen. And I can't stress to you enough what kind of accomplishment that is for a young man.
Bobby Schick with the ball. And he's good for about a 4 or 5 yard gain. So the line is really showing us tonight that they can get in there and put the pressure on West Hazelton's defense.
Oh, sure. That's no doubt about it. I mean, I think every team now in the last 4 or 5 games that scouted us had to scout our line and understand that.
That's it for the first quarter, Warren. The score, Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes 7, the West Hazelton Wildcats 0. Start of the second quarter, Mount Carmel has a second down on the 20-yard line. Hawkins with the ball, breaking around the left side, and he's good for a Mount Carmel first down and about a 10-yard pickup.
Now, Hawkins, he's fun to watch. He really is. He's in the same mold as Mazzatesta. Here's a kid, he's got nice moves, nice speed, but he's also a kid that when he sees he's probably gotten as far as he's going to go, he dips that shoulder, dips that head, and he makes somebody pay for the tackle.
Great fake in there by Weslowski also. He made it look like he had the ball for 5 seconds after Hawkins was running with it. Mazzatesta with the ball. He's going. He's to the 50 and brought down right about at the 44-yard line.
And the great thing about him is, I'm sure if you listen to the interview, I'm trying to talk to him about his personal goals and all, and he has none. As far as he's concerned, all he cares about is this team winning a championship. He gives credit to his line every moment that he gets a chance, and that's really great to hear from a young man.
Fantini, the ball carrier, good for about a 4-yard gain. And again, the line is really playing some nice ball in there for the Red Tornadoes. That time they ran over Votero and Motto's side. Oh, up the middle of Mazzatesta, and somebody just got a hand out there to
Number
trip
30
him.
there got his arm up and just tripped him up, or that was gone.
He saw the hole. It's good for a first down for the Red Tornadoes. Weslowski on a roll to the left. Finds Fantini breaking out of the backfield. Oh, and Dave nearly made it through there, but he's good for a Red Tornado first down and about a 15-yard gain.
Well, we're firing on all cylinders right now. I have to say that. Everything we try is pretty much working. Everything looks well. It's great play on the line. Again, it's controlling the line of scrimmage. West Hazelton is giving no penetration whatsoever on defense. They're not able to stop any plays at the line, and that's a tough thing to do when you make your linebackers and defensive backs have to fill all the time. They just can't do it on every play.
Weslowski on the pitch to Chicatano, and he picks up about a 3-yard gain. Weslowski on a second down from the 15-yard line, 9:39 remaining in the first half. The option play, Weslowski carries the ball, picks up about maybe 4 yards.
We haven't seen much of the option tonight, I guess mostly because we don't need to, is what it looks like to me. Everything's working on the interior of the line, so you don't really have to use the option play much. You don't need to stretch the defense because they are about as stretched as they want to be right now, I would guess. This is an odd game, being so quiet without a public address system.
That's right.
I'm not used to being so quiet around here.
Somebody could pull out a bullhorn and try it. Mazzatesta with the ball. Boy, that was only about a 1-yard gain on that play.
That's about the first time they've stopped him tonight at the line of scrimmage. As Coach, I think it was Coach Carm mentioned this morning, the thing you notice about Mazzatesta is no matter when he's stopped, he's always falling forward. He never goes backwards anytime when he has the ball. And that's truly a mark of a great back that can do that on every play. And that's just great physical strength. He's just a strong young man. You can't overpower him.
Weslowski, good for the Red Tornado first down.
Oh, we knew we were going to see the patented play there. And
Hey, it works. When it works, you stick with it on that 4th down and 3rd down when you need that short yardage. That's their short yardage bread and butter play. First down and goal to go for the Red Tornadoes. The ball right on the tip of the 5-yard line. Weslowski changing the play. Moves his backs back into the eye, gives it to Mazzatesta up the middle, and he's good for about a 3-yard gain.
It's a straight ahead play, straight ahead line blocking. Hawkins led the way, bulled ahead of Mazzatesta, and he can make a cut either way, and that's just what he did.
Tornadoes break the huddle. Ball's resting on the 3-yard line. 2nd down and goal to go. 7:29 left in the half. Touchdown, Red Tornadoes. Dave Fantini, the ball carrier.
It's good to spread it out a little bit.
That's right.
Too. That's what you like to see. Let everybody score a touchdown now. There goes Big John Motto off the field. I'm really impressed with John. I'll tell you what, I've watched him now 2 games, and I really am. And I know Coach Vitello is. He had all the confidence in the world in the young man when he put him in there, and John hasn't let him down.
Great block on that last play by Tony Mazzatesta. He just leveled one guy, but he took 2 others out. Kicks up by Weslowski, and the kick is good. With 7:26 left in the first half, the score of the Red Tornadoes 14, the Wildcats 0. That's nice. Weslowski kicking off for the Red Tornadoes. Nice kick, taken by number 1, Heath McDaniel. Heath carries the ball up to about the 30-yard line, and he's hit in there by number 22, Mike Hawkins.
Hawkins was the guy that had him down, but I'll tell you what, Jason Fantini was the one that gave him a good shot as he was going down. He squared up on him and really gave him a good hit.
Here's the option play, pitch to number 32, Paul Barron, and he's ridden out of bounds by number 76, Swaldy, and number 5, Joe Greco.
Excellent play on Joe Greco. He read the play immediately. He shot up from his defensive back position and stopped the play. He was the one that did it.
Cornerbacks have to do that. They have to be able to see the run coming and go for it.
And Joe's an aggressive kid, and that's what you need. I mean, he's not afraid to go up there and stick his helmet in up there.
2nd down for the Wildcats. Pass out, nice play made by Weslowski, and in fact, the end could have made that catch had Wes not hit him so well.
Put a good hit on him out there. I watched Weslowski over the season. I'll tell you what, if I was the opposing team, there wouldn't be a pass thrown to him on his side the whole game. I mean, you just don't fool him. You don't get him out of position. And even if you try to complete a pass and you're close, usually he hits you so hard you can't hold on to it anyway.
Right. He reads the quarterback well, and then he makes a good stick after that. Chris McCrory split far left for the Wildcats. Kovaleski running down number 10, Tom Halchak. He lets one fly, and Weslowski knew where that ball was going to come down because he worked about 2 yards back to get it.
Yeah, I saw far over the other guy's head it was going to be. That's tough to complete a pass when you got Kovaleski running you down like that. You can hear him breathing in back of you. Jose are having a talk. I think Jose called a play. I'm not sure. I think they're giving him a shot at calling a defensive signals there.
4th down for the Wildcats.
Well, that's one way to make sure that Mazzatesta doesn't run one back. You kick it over the bench and you're safe. I see Doug Greco out there just couldn't help but take a shot at big number 66. I think he's just testing to see how tough that kid really is. The opportunity presented itself, and he went after him.
Coach Williams is over there yelling for roughing the kicker, but I think their punter made a nice move, and he wasn't really touched.
That was a nice acting job, and obviously on that one he's a better actor than he is a kicker. So,
1st down, Red Tornadoes. The ball on the 41-yard line of the West Hazelton Wildcats. Mazzatesta.
You dropped the ball there. The ball was loose.
On the play there.
It was loose because I saw Mazzatesta drop his head right away and look for it. I don't know. I didn't quite see what happened there.
Well, either he or Fantini got the ball back, but it was really no gain. 2nd down for the Red Tornadoes. Hawkins and Mazzatesta in the backfield. Weslowski on the inside handoff, read nicely by number 45 of West Hazelton, Joe Bobick.
Something didn't
Great
work on
play
that
in
one.
there.
Definitely something did not work on that play. Shikatan almost got his head taken off.
With 5:40 remaining in the first half, Mount Carmel calls a timeout for the Red Tornadoes. The ball on the 44-yard line of the Wildcats. Wisloski rolls left, lots of time, looks over the middle to Kovaleski, and it was a little bit over everybody's head on that pass.
That was a pretty play, though. If you watch how that's set up, he had Machuzak out in front of him in perfect position. You don't usually see that. There was no one there for him, but he was in perfect position that time. That's what it shows. There's a lot of quickness to get out that fast because the quarterback is rolling immediately, and he's on the line, and he was out in front of him.
Right now, they have no one in the punt. Got a 4th down and 13, and appears like they're going for it. Wisloski on the fake again. Oh, a little bit underthrown to Mazatesta.
Well, it was probably good that it was because I think he would have gotten whacked when he caught it. West Hazelton had smelled that play out very well, and there was 3 guys waiting for Maz to catch the ball.
5:35 left in the first half, and the West Hazelton Wildcats will take over first down on their own 43-yard line. Number 10, Halchak, drops it back to pass, lobs a long one on a timing pattern.
Good play. That was a good play
by Wisloski. Really, all he did was go for the ball the way more or less the West Hazelton guy was on him.
Yeah, well, I can see where they're complaining a little bit, but it was a good defensive play. It really was. I don't think you could throw a flag there if you tried. Again, I find it a little bit odd, and I'm assuming that West Hazelton does this. You notice in their pass pattern so far, there is only one receiver going downfield. Everyone else is staying in the block, which I'm guessing is a compliment to Mount Carmel's defense.
Right.
Because they don't think they can do that with any more get downfield. But you don't see any backs coming out of the backfield. When you only have one guy downfield like that, it certainly limits your quarterback's options.
Up the middle to number 32, Paul Barron, and he breaks loose. One to catch him is Fantini. He misses him. Joe Greco brings him down
good
at the
tackle by
4-yard
Joe
line.
Greco.
And he came all the way from his cornerback spot on this side of the field to make that tackle, and that was a great play by Joe Greco.
There you see a freshman, and that was just heads-up football there. And I'll tell you what, Barron, I'm sure, outweighs Joe Greco right now by about 50 pounds, or maybe more, when you see the size of those 2 kids. And he brought him down with a solid tackle.
With 5:18 left in the first half, Mount Carmel calls its timeout. First down and goal to go for the West Hazelton Wildcats. The ball on the 4-yard line. Halchik gives it up the middle to number 32, Paul Barron. Good for the Wildcat touchdown.
Well, Mount Carmel area is going to have to be a little careful now. This team is a dangerous team. You do not want them into the game now. They're going to have to come back on offense and put a drive together here and not let these kids think when they go into halftime that they can beat us, or they just might.
West Hazelton going for 2 points. Halchek sets his Wildcats. Drops straight back. Now he's on a roll to the right, looking into the end zone, but going to carry it himself, and he doesn't make it. Good stop made in there by number 83, Alan Kovaleski, and number 10, Brian Shedleski.
Kovaleski and Shedleski, I guess, made the stop, but you saw Machuzak was the one that made him alter his course, and that one extra step, I think, down there, was the reason he never got in.
With 5:14 left in the first half, the score, the Red Tornadoes 14, the Wildcats 6. Kick to the left side, taken by Shikatano. He breaks it up the middle, some nice blocking in there for him. And he's brought down right about the 43-yard line. So we'll have a first down for the Red Tornadoes with 5:03 left in the first half. And we want to see them, I think, mount a little momentum here, Warren.
Well, they're going to have to show some intensity, that's for sure here. A loss in this game would be catastrophic. It would completely wreck their playoff hopes. So, this game is as important as anyone they've played to date. So I'm hoping they're thinking that as the game progresses here.
Wisloski, handoff to Mazatesta, breaks it up the middle. One more deke, and he's got it. And he's still going down to about the 17-yard line.
Ladies and gentlemen, on that run, I don't know the exact statistics, but Tony Mazzatesta has gained over 1,000 yards on the season. That was it. That was the run that did it. By halftime, when the statistics come out, we'll have the exact amount, how many yards he's over 1,000, but that play did it. Tony Mazzatesta over 1,000 yards for the season.
Congratulations, Tony Mazzatesta, 1,000-yard rusher for the Mount Carmel Red Tornadoes. Wesloski on the handoff to Chicatano, and Bobby gains about 5 yards.
Well, what an accomplishment. Again, we've said so much about the young man up till now, and you just cannot say enough about him. What an accomplishment for a young man to do that. It'll move him up, I think, on the list somewhere. He may now be third on the all-time rushing list with plenty of time to go up into second place again. Again, we'll try to keep you updated at the halftime statistics as soon as Joe Gonzalez gets them to us.
Wesloski to Mazzatesta, good for about a 1-yard gain.
Now, I was kidding. Some of you might have seen the pregame. We were kidding about the commentating. Tony handled the color for me in the Powder Puff game and didn't hesitate to mention when he was at the Breakfast Club to receive the award today about how well he thought he had done compared to me. And obviously he's going to have a broadcast career ahead of him after he's done with his football career.
Pitch back to Chicatano. He found a little opening there, and he's still going, but he gained only about 3 yards. It's probably going to be about 4th down and 1. Well, it's a little farther than that. I guess I was watching his.
You were a little wishful
sideways,
thinking on
right,
that one. We're
guess.
going to have about 3 or 4 yards to go. 3, I guess. I think, Bob, when you and I look back on this season, and it's our first year doing this, and we had such a great time doing it, but I know that the thing that's going to stand out in my mind, and the best part of the season for me, was to get to meet these young men close up, during our interviews and at the club and all.
First down, Red Tornadoes, Tony Mazzatesta.
And to find out, just what great people they really are. These kids are fantastic. I can't say enough of good things about them.
Every one of them we've talked to have been the greatest guys in the world, and it's been a joy. It has.
And I'm sorry that there just weren't all of them. I guess we haven't got to speak with all of them, but I think we talked about this morning bringing all the seniors at least to one of the breakfast clubs in the next couple of weeks. So we'll get a chance to meet those that we haven't, and I'm looking forward to that.
Wesloski pitches back to Mazzatesta. Touchdown, Red Tornadoes. Wesloski leaves his running shoe on, so it appears the Tornadoes will be going for the 2-point conversion.
Well, I think they got a little bit of scare thrown into them on that touchdown by West Hazelton. They're not going to take any chances, and I wouldn't either. You don't want to take anything for granted in a game like this. Let's score when we have the opportunity. And
Wesloski rolls right.
Oh, almost a nice
Hawkins
catch.
Was there, and it was behind him, and he reached back and almost got it on the right side. The Hill crew is over there tonight, Warren. They're all sitting up in there.
They're singing their earliest rendition of "Hey, Hey, Goodbye." I think
that I've
today.
ever heard. Right.
They're definitely ahead of the time with 2 minutes and 25 seconds left. They're singing goodbye already. So.
Looks like we picked up about maybe 20 extra fans over there too. If this season would progress, there's more going to be up there than in the stadium.
That's a unique group over there. I'll say that for them.
With 2:25 remaining in the first half, the score: the Red Tornadoes 20, the West Hazelton Wildcats 6. Wesloski kicking off for the Red Tornadoes. Nice high kick. Taken by number 32, Barron. Tries it up the middle, finds a little slot there, and a nice leg tackle made by...
That's number 84.
Number 84, Chuck Mann. Great tackle in there by Chucky Mann. That might have saved a
touchdown. Chuck might have saved a touchdown on that play. That was a good play. And Barron's a good back. He's a hard man to bring down.
He's big, and he has deceiving speed as he comes through there.
Yeah, you gotta take him on, square on, or he's going to run through you.
Halsack rose this side. Swaldy was in there, and Halsack just grounds the ball.
Now, Big Red wants an intentional grounding, but There was a guy close enough, I guess. That's all you need is somebody in the area.
83 was there. He was close.
I mean, he wasn't throwing it past anyone. He was
That's
purposely
right.
throwing it to the ground, but he did get away with it, and that's probably a good call. He did.
1:57 left in the first half. West Hazelton has the ball on the 36-yard line. Halchek, a quick pass over the middle, intercepted by number 21, Chicatano. He's to the 20 and taken down right about at the 12-yard line.
Good play, and when you saw him when he caught the ball, I know he thought touchdown. I think I can run this in. It was just a great play in the last moment there that stopped him from going in.
The big stop in there by number 32, Barron, and he is fast for his size.
Yeah, Chicky saw the end zone there on that one. He had the flag in his eye when he caught that ball.
1:44 left in the second quarter. Ball handed off up the middle, but there's a fumble on the play. And as they're unpiling them here, we'll see it's recovered by the Wildcats.
Somebody got a good hit in there on Fantini. I heard it all the way up here, and the ball was jarred loose. So it was a momentary possession on that one.
.110 for the Wildcats. Halchik back to pass again. Pass taken by number 14 of the Wildcats, Chris McCrory. That's good for a West Hazelton first down.
Well, that time you saw Weslowski, I'm sure he thought he could make an interception.
Yes.
And that's what happened. He tried to step in front, and sometimes, you do that and the guy gets past you, and that's what happened there. It was not for a lot of yardage or anything, but you don't want to discourage the kid from interceptions either, and that's what he thought he could do, and he came real close.
50 seconds left on the clock in the first half. Halchik, quick pass over the head of his receiver, and it's incomplete pass.
Yeah, I think 30 thought he was going to get away there for a second, but the ball hit the ground before he got it. West Hazelton has passed continually to their right side. They never come left with a pass. The one time they did come left,
It was intercepted.
It was intercepted. And the other time before that, he had to ground the ball.
Right.
So I guess the right side is the one they do best. Now you see a trips formation out here in the left.
Halchik on a draw play to Barron. And again, Swaldy holds his ground, but also in there on the play was number 75, Wild Bill. Wildcats, 3rd down and 10. The ball on about the 30-yard line. 36 seconds left in the first half. Halchik, Swaldy made him not throw that pass. And then when he finally did throw one to McCrory, number 69, Machuzak, was in to cover the play.
As I was saying, we're looking at so many different things here, and we're not always giving everybody this number all the time now, but the bottom line here is guys like Maher and Kogut, Swaldy, all these guys on the line, a couple of Eskin inside, they're just doing a great job, and there's nobody's moving on them. No offense does anything to them.
He is punting away from the speedster.
He's punting away from the field. He's punting away from everything.
He almost made the stands on that kick.
He's intent on doing that before the end of the game.
I'll tell you what, that ball went exactly from the line of scrimmage 10 yards.
He was also in a tremendous rush there too, though. That a lot of times has a lot to do with it. Although they tell us that a big rush usually means you get off a good punt.
That's
a lot
right.
of times. Not in this case.
27 seconds left in the first half. Weslowski drops straight back, rolls to his right, carries the ball and holds on to it, puts his head down, and gains about 2 yards on about a 30-yard run.
Yeah, that about summed it up. There's a lot of running there, but we didn't go far.
16 seconds left in the first half, and the Tornadoes can get one play, maybe two off here. Weslowski drops straight back, looks over the middle, hits Kovaleski, and he's down to the 20-yard line. And we have 9 seconds left to move the chains. The Tornadoes are moving into the hurry-up offense, and they'll be set and probably able to throw this ball out of bounds.
In 9 seconds, they're gonna. I'm not sure what. Maybe they
Maybe
call
they have
two
a play
plays. I don't
called,
know.
Right. Weslowski throws it Kovaleski's way, and it's out of bounds, and they'll have 5 seconds left for one more play.
You know, he threw it out of bounds, and I thought for a second if he would have caught that, he might have scored. He was that wide open, but he left it go by him.
This is it. This will be the final play of the first half. Wisloski rolling to his right, looks down. Oh, boy, and he had him at the 5-yard line. Nice pass and a nice catch made in there by Startle. That's it at the end of the first half. The score, the Red Tornadoes 20, West Hazelton Wildcats 6.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mount Carmel area halftime program. And tonight we have with us a very special guest, very special. We have with us Dr. Jeffrey Greco, the team doctor and all-around great guy for these kids. You'll remember Jeff. He played from 1964 to 68, am I correct? Yes. He played both quarterback and defensive back, safety. And for those of you who watch football and follow football, you'll remember two things about him. He was an excellent blocking quarterback. In fact, that's what he's still known for. And he's also known for his vicious hits as a defensive back. To this day, people remember certain hits in certain games where he came up and made the play, and people remember that. Jeff went on from Mount Carmel area into Susquehanna, had a distinguished career at Susquehanna College, also in the defensive backfield. Went on to medical school, and we find him now as our team doctor. Now, Jeff, a lot of people are wondering, like, what exactly a team doctor does, and I'd like you to begin in the preseason, the first 2 weeks of practice. Like, what is your routine with the team starting then up to the first game?
Warren, the routine is first to give everybody a good physical, to find out if there's anything medically wrong with them, because we've had in the past outbreaks of different infections that one person may have, and then share it to the team. After the physical in the beginning of the season, we try to assess any players who have had injuries in the past that have recurrences. And right away, although we know this before the season, they're getting certain therapy before this. And we assess any injuries. The first 2 weeks of practice are very crucial, because kids aren't running as much as they usually do, and they're in 2 and 3 sessions a day, working a lot, putting a lot of extra strain on their system, not only the heat and the sweat that they lose, but a lot of different ligaments and joints are being used that haven't been used for a long time. What we try to do is have the kids warm up and do as much as they can, but preseason will take its toll, and it seems to be a lot of work for the kids and the coaching staff, and sometimes me. This year has been unusually lucky for our team in that we've had some injuries preseason that we were able to overcome, and that's about it, what it is at preseason. Now, once the season does start, everybody does come up with an injury once in a while, and I really do get a flavor that the fans don't get. I get a flavor that you don't get up in the box. I'm down here in the field, and I can smell the grass. I can hear the ouches. I can hear the complaining of the players as I go out in the field. I see the mud on the knees, and it's a great big flavor. You know, it would really be nice if you could bring the camera down someday. I'm sure you'd have to blot out a couple of the sayings that go on. But when a player is injured, it's really important to find out if it is something dangerous or not, because 80-90% of the injuries that we do receive may not be other than, for example, like a stun injury. But at the same time, you notice that a few years ago, Nick Bonacani's son broke his neck and ended up paralyzed. So you have to have a lot of respect for the injuries, and you always take one step at a time. But if someone is injured during a game, then we have to follow them through. Maybe examine that part that's hurt after the game, and then maybe after 1 or 2 days of swelling have passed, and then decide, does this player have to see an orthopedic surgeon or not. We send him down to Bob Veach, who's also our freshman coach, a physical therapist down at Shamokin Hospital. He does some evaluation and some ongoing therapy for the guys. But besides on field, there's a lot of off the field things that we try to take care of too. But it is time consuming. But it's a tradition that has been going on for a long time since my dad was a team physician since 1947, well over 30 years. And it's something that I remember he's been doing, that he did do for a long time with a lot of support from everyone. And I'm just glad to take up where he finished.
Well, I want to add that Jeff's trying to tell you about how much time, and he's being modest about it. You got to remember that Dr. Greco here has his chief of staff at Shamokin State Hospital, has a thriving practice on his own, and besides that is raising a fine family, plus finds time at any given time of the day or night to treat one of these kids for whatever reason it might be during the season, during the preseason, or whatever. So you can see the kind of time demands he unselfishly gives of himself. And I might add that tonight, as an example, he came right from the hospital to here. You haven't been home yet. You haven't seen your family yet. Now you're going to be here for the remainder of the evening, and hopefully it'll be a calm evening and you can go right home after the game. But also I want to point out that we were talking about his career. At some point during this interview, you're going to see a film clip. I know that's going to bring back some fond memories of Jeff for his fans and for himself if he gets to catch
We had face masks.
He's stressing to wear face masks. It wasn't that far ago. So we want to thank him for stopping by. We want to wish him the best of luck, and hopefully you're not going to have a busy time for the rest of the season.
Thank you, Warren.
Thank you. Okay, we have the halftime statistics. You're going to have to forgive me for a moment because I am freezing cold right now from being down in the field. But some of them are somewhat astonishing. Mount Carmel area has rushed 31 times for a total of 222 yards. Now, I didn't even feel we went that much, but obviously we did. We passed 3 of 9 for just 46 yards. In the first down department, we out first down West Hazelton 14-4. Now, again, these are lopsided statistics. We don't really see them in the game for the half. West Hazelton rushed 12 times for 62 yards. They were 2 of 12 for 33 yards in the passing department. Now, the big statistic, of course, individual rushing will be Mazzatest. He rushed 13 times for 112 yards in the first half alone. Chicatano, 9 of 72 for 72 yards. Fantini was 4 times for 9 yards. Hawkins rushed 2 times for 13 yards. And Wisłowski rushed 3 times for 13 yards. And again, I'll come back to the 13 times for 112 yards on Tony Mazzatesta. That will give him 1,026 yards on the season. And, Bob, that has to be one great accomplishment.
I think one thing, Warren, too, is on the West Hazelton side of it, where their statistics are with the 62 yards and the 33 yards, that was just one lapse in Mount Carmel's defense. Really, they shouldn't even have that many yards on the ground. So it has been a dominant first half for the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, well, I think you're seeing 62 yards rushing West Hazelton. Well, a good 40 of them were on one run.
That's right.
And that was where they eventually went and scored a touchdown. But Mount Carmel's totally dominating the entire game in the first half anyway. We look to see that again in the second half. If Mazzatesta continues to run like this, no telling where he's going to stop right now. He's really having a phenomenal game again. So stay tuned for the second half, and we expect some big things and a big win.
We're back here to start the second half, Warren, and I'll tell you what. When we had the hot chocolate in Pottsville, it was cold, but the hot chocolate tonight was a lot better than it was in Pottsville.
I just want to say, Mary Ibanez, you saved my life. I'm just going to say that with all sincerity. It would have died without that hot chocolate right now.
And that's the one we said is Marcy's best mom, right?
Yeah, it's the best mom Marcy ever had, in fact.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what George just told us a second ago, and Marcy concurs with that, so it's obviously true.
West Hazelton takes the second half kickoff. Barron has the ball. He was hit in there initially by Shedleski, and then finished off by, it looks like number 84, Chuck Mann, getting off the bottom of the pile again. And he really has some eyes for that runner coming up on the kickoff. He's a suicide man as he goes down there. He's not afraid to go after him.
Yeah, good special teams play, and I'll tell you that the tackle that wasn't made was Jason Fantini, and I think the ball carrier should be very glad that he did not get hit by him.
Barron up the middle again. Kovaleski slid over from his defensive end position, but also in on the stop right in the middle was Machuzak.
He's playing a heck of a game at linebacker and offensive line. And it's a solid game. We say it's a heck of a game, but it's no different than any other game for him.
That's right.
He's the same as the rest of them out there as far as that goes. Good, solid game. You say his name as many times, through a game.
Second down and 7 for the Wildcats. The ball on the 36-yard line. Halchak hands off up the middle to Barron again. And we're looking at some numbers getting off the pile. 47, Jason Fantini. 64, Mike Kogut. And on the bottom, number 69, Machuzak.
Well, I'm sure he's helping out in Fantini, and only because Fantini's not used to being a linebacker. He's played the entire season at that nose guard position. I'm talking about Dave.
Right.
So, I'm sure that Machuzak's giving him a lot of help right now as far as the calls and maybe getting to the ball a little quicker, until Dave sees it.
Halchuk dropping straight back, looking over on Weslowski's side, and Dave almost made a fantastic interception there.
It's amazing they continually throw right at Weslowski. I mean, usually you don't do that.
Fourth down for the Wildcats, about 4 yards to go. 10-17 left in the third quarter, and the ball on the 38-yard line. Deep for the Red Tornadoes, the two speedsters, number 21, Chicatano, and number 34, Mazzatesta. Snaps back. He kicked this one into the field of play this time. Goes out of bounds on the 44-yard line.
Well, that was his best kick of the night, by far, right now. And then that wasn't anything to scream about, but it was his best kick. Again, he had a great rush and was almost blocked.
First down and 10, Red Tornadoes. Fantini finds a big hole breaking up the left side. And he tried making the deke there on the 50-yard line. I think that ground's getting hard is what's happening. He just slipped right out.
I'll tell you what, they've just come out, from the second half, and they've got to be cold because it's just really unbelievable that the temperatures dropped here tonight.
Well, that was the last man. He got by him.
The field isn't in the best of shape. I mean, it did rain heavy from very early this morning on until about noontime.
Weslowski to Fantini on the same play. He's to the 40 and still going at about the 33-yard line, and a nice run for Dave Fantini.
He ran right through number 85 there. That's a big kid there, and he ran straight through him, took him head on and ran right over him and left him laying on the field there.
Fantini gets a deserved rest, and Mike Hawkins goes into the game for the Tornadoes.
Now, Mount Carmel area has come out sharp, certainly in the second half.
Mazzatesta on the right side, still on his feet, made a beautiful move there, and he's going to go in for the Red Tornado touchdown. Beautiful play, Tony Mazzatesta.
Unbelievable. Again. What can you say? I don't know what to say anymore.
He stopped.
Unbelievable. The legs just keep churning, and he just keeps moving and just adding to a big total already. My goodness, he had 112 yards in the first half alone. A big chunk now going to be added on to it.
There's just actually no telling. Stopped. I mean, that 85 had him dead to rights, had him stopped. He looked him in the face and just ran off to the left, and the speed coming out away from that number 85 was unbelievable.
Well, 85 is going to see some nightmares tonight, and he had Fantini bowl him over the play before that.
Kick up by Weslowski, and it's good. With 9:18 remaining in the third quarter, the score, the Red Tornadoes 27, the Wildcats 6. Weslowski kicking off for the Red Tornadoes. Nice kick by Dave. Taken by number 32, Barron again. Waits for his blocker, starts up the middle. And a couple Tornadoes in on that play. On the bottom of the pile, though, again, and he's hurt, but was number 84, Chuck Mann.
He's having an outstanding night on the special teams. He got hurt there. I can't see what he's holding there.
In there also was number 81, Steve Catch. Chuck Mann comes off the field for the Red Tornadoes, and he looks okay standing down on the sideline. I think he just took a good shot from Barron.
Well, he's given enough of them, so.
That's right. First down, Wildcats. 9:03 left in the third quarter. The ball on the 33-yard line, and Barron takes the ball up on the left side. Stop made in there by number 76, Tom Swaldy.
You know, you see these special team, when you see a kickoff, if you're just a fan and you're watching it, it just looks like everybody's running to the ball. Mount Carmel is a very sophisticated kickoff return team and kickoff coverage team. Everybody's got a specific job on that team. They have specific lanes that they're staying in, and that's why they do it so well. They practice it very hard, unlike some teams. Every Thursday they make a point to practice it, and you're seeing how it pays off. Plus, you got some good athletes running down there.
Halchik back to pass. He looks long out here to number 88, Frank Masenko. Ball on the 38-yard line. Warren, you're not frozen there, are you? Can you talk?
Sorry,
yet?
I'm
okay. All right. First down, Wildcats. Tackle made by number 21, Bob Chicatano.
I've started to freeze from my feet up, and it's already up to about my navel now. I'm starting to worry.
That was the first time in all these games we've done that your mouth stopped for at least about 10 seconds, and it got me scared there for a minute.
I'm okay, though. I think I'm going to be able to be all right. I could make the end of the game. See, I missed the public address announcement. That's what my problem is. Everything's too quiet.
Halchuk up the middle to Barron. And holding his leg down on the bottom of the pile was number 44, Jamie Bowling.
Well, we're down now to kind of a grinded-out game on both sides, and we're not. Nobody's doing much of anything. West Hazelton does not look like they're a precise passing team. So far anyway,
Right.
We haven't seen it. Either he's being pressured or he doesn't throw it well, or the receiver falls down or turns the wrong way, whatever. But, they don't look like they're going to get back in the game by the air, the quickest route.
Long pass over the middle, and that's to no-name number 30. And it was a nice pass, though.
He should have caught it.
He should have caught it, right?
Bottom line was he was open. He should have caught the pass, and he didn't. And if you were going to take advantage of Mount Carmel area in a passing game, this would be the game. You have so many different new faces. You have Hawkins back there. He hasn't played a play at varsity level defensive back. He's back there now. You got Chicatano, you notice, is back in the defensive backfield. He has not played back there that much this year at all. So, this would be the time if you were going to.
Halchuk on the draw, and somebody read it really nicely.
That's going to be Big Bill Maher.
Wild Bill, and boy,
He didn't
he
get
put a
fooled.
stick on that quarterback.
And the quarterback's on the ground now. He didn't get up.
Right on the mid-stripe with 6:48 left in the third quarter. Now, they're either going into the shift or they're going to run a fourth down play here, Warren.
Well, they've changed quarterbacks for openers.
Oh, nice play made by Alan Kovaleski.
Good play.
Broke the pass up beautifully.
Yeah, so the starting quarterback's hurt. So you see number one, who is the flanker back,
Keith
right?
McDaniel. He threw a nice pass.
He did.
There,
That was a nice pass.
That was one of the nicer West Hazelton passes that we've seen tonight.
Kovaleski just read it very well and timed his jump perfectly and broke it up.
Wysłowski pitches back to Mazzatesta, coming around the left side. One man to beat, and he made a nice stop in there. Barron again. Barron's a good football player for West Hazelton.
Yes, he is. You can't take anything away from that kid. He's playing a good, hard game. I don't think he has enough support right now, but he's playing a good game.
It's amazing to see the speed Kogut has when he pulls. Oh, nice play made in there by the nose guard. Number 69 for the West Hazelton. That's a new guy they just put in, John Grohall.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. We're in the middle part of the third quarter. We're up 27-6. We're deep in their territory again. It'll be interesting to see how long Coach Dimnick keeps Massatessa in the game. I mean, he's well over 1,000 yards, well over 100 yards for the game. In fact, he's going to be very close to 200 yards if he keeps going.
About a 6-yard gain there for Tony Mazzatesta.
But you got to start thinking now, with one more game to go and the playoffs looming ahead, that maybe you want to rest him and make sure he doesn't get hurt. I mean, he is a durable back. He has not been hurt all season. So,
right.
I mean, he's not one that's prone to it, but you don't want to take the chance if you don't have to. I'm sure it's going through Coach Dimmick's mind right now.
Time comes back in here with 5:16 left in the third quarter, and Tornadoes driving on the West Hazelton 30-yard line. Wazlowski pitches back, and tackle made by no-name 30, and that's one of the few times tonight the Red Tornadoes have been stopped in their own backfield.
Yeah, he just read the play really well and came right through and got him. One of the things, you're talking about what a fine young man Mazatest is. He's having breakfast this morning, and Coach Dimmick is explaining to us that he's not suited up the entire week of practice, and that, he's sort of doubtful for the game, and he looks up from his plate, and he looks at everybody and says, I'm playing tonight.
Fake to Mazatest, Wazlowski on the roll, and he has some open ground running there. But, boy, he's stopped in there nicely by the West Hazelton defense.
I'm watching Doug Greco down there. I'll tell you what, he's hitting anything that stands up right now. He turned a second and hit a kid. It was almost a fight over it. But he is hitting anybody standing up right now.
First down and 10 for the Wildcats. The ball on the 33-yard line. 4:19 left in the third quarter, and it seems to be getting colder, Warren.
Well, that's because this game's getting a little more boring. We've exchanged now the possession 3 different times within the 20 yards of each other. I'm watching the fans slowly freeze to death in front of me here.
Number 10, Halchek back in. He throws the pass over to number 14, Chris McCrory, and it goes through his hands.
Yeah, they're just not a sharp passing team. It's as simple as that. I mean, they're not a threat right now passing. That's what it comes down to. I think the fans would like to see some kind of play, any kind of play right now where they could stand up and get a little bit of warmth back in them. They're all kind of huddled together down here.
Second down and 10 for the Wildcats. Quick pass over the middle. Intercepted by number 5, Joe Greco. And he runs it down the sideline, and that's his third interception in two games. And he is really being in the right place at the right time.
Well, he didn't have to do anything. He just stood there, and they threw it right at him. I think he was a little bit confused at first.
In the right place at the right time.
I mean, my goodness, he never took a step one way or the other. He just got hit with the ball, and he caught it and ran with it.
Good play, Joe Greco.
Oh, he shows just unlimited potential in the defensive backfield. He really does. It's uncanny for a freshman. I mean, you're seeing a kid playing unbelievably heads-up football. Yeah, we just had our halftime interview with Jeff about what a great defensive back he was, and obviously Joe's going to take after his uncle in that respect.
Mazatesta going to throw the ball. Lets one fly into the end zone, and it was broken up in there.
I'm sure those two guys are going to talk with each other about that. Actually, the guy that was open on that play was Kovaleski underneath. I don't think Mass couldn't see him, but Kovaleski was underneath the pattern about 10 yards shallow, right around the 10-yard line, and he was the guy that possibly could have made the touchdown if he got it to him.
Wazlowski on second down and 10, and that no-name, number 30, I don't know where he came from, but he wasn't in on any tackles in the first half, and all of a sudden he's starting to shoot in there.
And he's having a heck of a game right now. Well, he's lining up, and he's a linebacker.
Third down and 11 for the Red Tornadoes. 3:09 left in the third quarter. Wazlowski on a straight drop back, big blitz on the draw play to Mazatesta.
Beautiful.
He's looking for the opening there, and somebody gets him down from behind, but it might be good enough for the Red Tornado first down.
He's going to be very close. Boy, he had a lot of people out in front of him. I don't know how they tackled him there. There was a lot of people out front there.
Well, actually, Tony was waiting for his blockers, and as they were making their move, someone actually came from behind and made the tackle.
That was a picture-perfect screenplay.
First down and goal to go, Red Tornado. Ball on the 9-yard line.
We just had an argument break out between the technical crew and back of us, and I thought it was going to get ugly for a second. Now we're back. Okay, we're okay now.
Fantini up the middle. Down to the 1-yard line and a flag on the play.
That's against them. 77 took a cheap shot.
At Kogut.
Yeah, that was just a cheap shot on his part. He did it right in front of the ref, and he got caught. I thought for a second that Fantini was just going to carry both of those guys in with him, as he was very close to it.
Personal foul against West Hazelton. First down and inches to go for the Red Tornadoes. Wisłowski on the wedge, up the middle, touchdown, Red Tornadoes.
Well, you know that play. I mean, it's still 100% effective throughout the entire season. Every time they run it, they either get the first down or the touchdown, which is what they're looking for.
Anytime when the Red Tornadoes have had to pick up inches this year, that play has worked. And I'd like to go back and count the number of times that it did work.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see because they never failed on it yet.
We got the name of number 30.
What, Sukol? Is that
Sounds
his
good.
name? Sukol, yeah. It's most of the game now. We went without him.
The extra point conversion falls incomplete. With 2:17 remaining in the third quarter, the score, the Red Tornadoes 33, the Wildcats 6. Wisłowski kicking off for the Red Tornadoes. Boy, that's his best kick of the night. Drives Barron back to about the 10-yard line, and he starts up the middle. And again in on that play, I saw number 81 for sure, Steve Catch. Also number 10, Shidleski, and number 21, Bobby Chicatano.
And I see pretty much the same team in there now, on defense anyway. I expect with just about 2 minutes to go in this third quarter, when the fourth quarter begins, you're going to start seeing Mount Carmel substitute, somewhat, as the game's already 33-6.
First down, Wildcats. Tripp split over to the right side here, but he goes back and looks over the middle. And number 87, it just falls out of the reach of his hands, but he is throwing from either the middle.
Yeah, he's always to one side, actually.
Right.
I mean, when he gets to the middle, that's an oddity because he's always on one side of the field. And that's just the way the offense is designed.
Right.
Teams run to their strength, and I'm sure that's the best way. And not only that, they run to the right. Very seldom do you see a team that has a strength to its left. You saw North Schuylkill run probably 99% of their plays to the right side. So that's a trend that you see a lot of teams do. Except Mount Carmel, they run to all sections of their line.
Second down for the Wildcats. Halchik looking over to number 85, and boy, I'll tell you what, had he kept running for that ball, he would have been under it and caught it. Joe Darrett made a heck of a nice play at the end of that play.
Yeah, West Hazelton is not very happy about that call. But I'm not commenting on it one way or the other. I think it was a good defense myself. But when you're down 33-6, I guess you look for any kind of bright spot you possibly can to brighten your day.
Halsack on the handoff to Barron. Looks like probably Dave Fantini was on that.
There were so many people standing there, but Dave was the guy that was down there. I see Belfani entered the game from Mount Carmel area. Fantana Rosa's coming out. Maher Bowley came out of the game on a punting situation. We see Greco back and Hawkins to receive the punt, which is a different receiving crew altogether. And that was his best kick.
Yeah. Greco covers the ball right on the 40-yard line. That was a smart thing. It got through his hands on this cold night.
Well, Joe
dropped to the ground, and he just had
a little bit anxious. He just tried to run a little bit before he got the ball in his hand, which is, as a freshman, you can't fault him for that. That's just a little over-anxiousness on his part. Yeah, I thought we were going to very
Shidleski will come in, number 10 at quarterback. Bullock, number 44, will be the fullback. Mike Hawkins, number 22, the running back. They're staying with some of the same linemen. Kovaleski's still in there. Costello's still centering. Up the middle to Hawkins. He gains about 2 yards.
You know what looked funny about that play? I'll tell you what it was. We only had 10 men on the field. We were short the flanker. I'm looking in the backfield wondering where the other guy is, and he wasn't there. I see Greco ran into the lineup.
Greco in there as the flanker now.
But we were 10 men on that play. I knew there was something
Did
odd
pretty
about the way
good.
we
He
set
gained a
up.
yard on it.
Yeah, we didn't lose anything. And we were definitely short because that backfield looked empty back down one side.
Shedlaski to Bullock, and that one didn't work too well.
Well, number 30, Sukol, he's having himself a career game in the second half
That's
here.
right.
He's everywhere.
And that's the end of the third quarter. The score, the Red Tornadoes 33, the Wildcats 6. Shedlaski pitches back to number 22, Mike Hawkins, coming this side. Boy, he made a nice play in there on one deke, but he gains only about a yard. And the Tornadoes will be faced with a 4th down and 10.
Well, I see there's Costello. He was arguing about coming out of the game. He's on the sideline. He saw Geary going in, and he's looking at the coach like, I'm not ready to come out yet. I can play the rest of this game. That's basically what he told me in his pregame interview, that if it was up to him, he'd play every single second of every single game that there was.
Bullock back to punt. Oh, nice punt for Jamie Bullock. Fair catch called by number 1, Heath McDaniel. The Wildcats will take over the ball, 1st down on the 26-yard line. Well, really, the only major difference on defense right now is Fantana Rosa in there for
Belfani
tackle,
went in,
and Belfani went in at end for Kovaleski. But they did go with the younger backfield here today, and nice play made in there from the defensive end spot of Tom Swaldy.
And Darrop. And he wanted to see that 32's down there for a minute. Darrop stuck a helmet in on there and whacked him. And, he was a KMC player of the game for just that kind of hit. You see that? You see him flash by you, and boom, somebody's on the ground. He's not afraid to hit you.
We noticed that last week at Blue Mountain, and that's what we felt, that he was getting in there and making that stop. Second down and 12 for the Wildcats. 32, Barron with the ball, going around the right side and coming up there nicely was number 22, Hawkins. He didn't make the tackle, but he made the right play.
Well, now the Barron is down again. He was hurt on the last play. He got back into the game without stopping play, but he got back up again. I would not run him now. I think a coach makes a mistake. The kid's obviously hurting. Take him out for play. What's it going to hurt? You're down 33-6. It's not going to kill you to give that kid a play or two rest.
Number 84, Chuck Mann, into the lineup for the Red Tornadoes to replace Dave Fantini.
Now, Barron's in the huddle. He's bent over. I don't understand that. I'd take him out of the game. I really would. And they're busy yelling about a bad call, which they think went on over there, instead of watching their player.
And they call his number again.
I think they dislike him for some reason. He must have did something to be punished now.
Tackle made in there by number 44, Jamie Bullock.
And he's a tough kid. I mean, he's playing his heart out there. Finally, there he is. He's coming out of the game, finally. And he's limping his way off.
9:55 left in this ball game, and the ball resting right on the 35-yard line. 4th down for the Wildcats, and they're either going for it or going into their shift again. Going for it up the middle, and they will have a 1st down.
Yeah, they'll pick it up. Chuck Mann made the stop over there. I see 61, Jim Fry, another sophomore, now in the lineup, replacing Jason Fantini. And Fry will go in at that nose guard position. And Fry probably at the nose guard position, I would think in the last 5 or 6 years, is probably the biggest one we've ever had.
Right.
We usually have the smaller guys there, and he's a pretty good-sized kid.
Jason played one heck of a football game tonight. Oh, nice pat. Broken up by number 84, Chuck Mann. And he was looking at the end zone also.
He was looking at the end zone, and Bullock Bullock introduced him to himself in a rough way. So one thing, that's the one thing you like to see. You see these young kids get in, they're going to make a mistake. I mean, obviously the defense, it's a complicated defense. There's different reads and things. I know, they're out there thinking, geez, I don't want to make a mistake. But the thing that's consistent with them, and every time you see them, is mistake or not, they're whacking somebody.
That's right.
That's what you want to see in football. That's proof they're going to be a good player sooner or later down the line because they're not afraid to hit you.
Steve Catch coming in for Swaldy. And Swaldy played an excellent game tonight at defensive end.
Another good game. Another big game from him. These guys are just solid performers.
9:05 left in this ball game. 3rd down and 10 for the Wildcats. The ball on the 40-yard line.
But this is truly the best thing that can happen to us. Like a game at Blue Mountain, a game here where they're not playing an entire game. And, even high school kids towards the end of a grinding season are getting tired, so they could use the rest.
Looks like Barron's back in the ball game, and he's one heck of a runner. We've said that all night. Gains about 8 yards, and the left side of the Tornado defense is over there with Bullock. Greco's over there getting up. Number 86, Bob Belfani.
West Hazelton has their first team still in it, and I'm not going to criticize that because they have an extremely small squad.
4th down for the Wildcats. 8:42 left in the ball game, and it's getting colder. Barron up the middle.
Ooh.
Fumble on the play.
We got it. I think we got
by
it.
the Red Tornadoes, and they came in and looked like they got the ball.
Boy, it went straight up in the air. I know we got it. We were the only ones there.
Recovered by number 70, Scott Paul.
Yeah, somebody gave him a good hit with their helmet and got it right on the ball and bumped it. It went straight up in the air.
1st down and 10, Red Tornadoes. Shedlasky up the middle to Bullock. Good for a 5-yard gain. Bullock has that initial surge coming through the middle of the line that looks good.
Well, they said that he had a great game in the JV game against Pottsville running the ball. An excellent game. And many people who have seen him, throughout his career, I guess in the midgets and all, have always said he had great potential as a runner. We just don't see him much in that position, but obviously he does.
Hawkins coming this side, made a nice cut up the middle, good for the Tornado. 1st down on the 34-yard line.
That kid has what you can't teach. He has that little instinctive move there that he doesn't see the player, but he knows he's there, and he makes that little juke move and he's by. You can't coach that kind of runner. You either have it or you don't, and he does.
1st down, Red Tornadoes. 7:30 left in the ball game. Shedlasky pitches back to Hawkins around this side, and he's about a 1-yard gain.
I tell you, Shedlasky paid the price on that one.
He did.
He took a good hit on that.
I guess that's the rollout, or that's the option where you don't have a guard in front of you, right?
Exactly. You're left naked out there, and they can take a shot at you.
Second down for the Red Tornadoes. Joe Greco splits far left. Shedlasky looks to pass, and he was covered in there by the West Hazelton line.
Well, he didn't take a deep drop at all. I think that was one of the things that hurt him. That was just a quick pop pass, and
right.
He faked it. He did the right thing because when he jumped up to do it, there was nobody open. So rather than throw it and risk an interception, he brought it back down and then tried to run. That's heads-up football on his part because he could have easily thrown it, and saw what happened.
Shedlasky on the inside handoff. Number 22, Mike Hawkins, run out of bounds, close to a 1st down.
He's really a fun player to watch. I enjoy watching him run. A lot of Mazatesta in him. He doesn't have that bulky body and the big legs, but a lot of the same moves and the same instincts that Maz shows you throughout a game.
1st down, Red Tornadoes, 6:17 left in the ball game. Shedlasky on the same play to Hawkins, and he stopped for no gain.
Be interesting to see, what they call it with Shedlasky in there. Will they throw a longer pass?
Joe Greco as tailback, and a flag on the play. It looked like it could have been a face mask.
They might have grabbed that, yeah. That was a good play. That was a good play in that the West Hazelton blitzed. They assumed the same thing I did, that we might try a pass play, and they blitzed, and we ran off, the one side of it.
Personal foul, face mask called against the Wildcats.
Well, West Hazelton's upset, and understandably so. You're going to be upset when you're down 33-6, no matter what happens to you. They have an extremely poor crowd here tonight. I'm very disappointed in what they brought with them.
2nd down and 1 for the Red Tornadoes. 5:30 left in the ball game. Up the middle to Bullock.
I know this second team would like nothing more than to punch a
Score
score
it.
in, I'll tell you.
That's right. 3rd down and inches for the Red Tornadoes, and it could be wedge time. Because we found the second team line is capable of doing this wedge also. We saw that last week, Warren.
Oh, yeah. No, they're a well-coached line. I mean, Patello has all of them who are player linemen. They're all well-coached.
But they're going to try it on the outside with Hawkins. He gets the 1st down and more down to about the 4-yard line.
Well, they're intent on scoring, and I know the coaching staff's probably thinking to themselves, it's 33-6. If we ran this clock out, it wouldn't kill them any. You don't want to run up a score in a team. The team obviously is outmanned.
But then again, you can't stop these guys.
No,
from
you
wanting to
can't.
Pop
What are you
one
going to do?
in
You
there.
can't go into hell and say, okay, don't score. I mean,
Shedleski brought down at the 8-yard line.
And West Hazelton's getting obviously frustrated. There's a little bit extra pushing almost on every play now and juking around or whatever.
I think we're seeing a timeout called here by the Red Tornadoes. Pitch back to Hawkins. He's got a shot at it.
Oh.
Touchdown, Red Tornadoes,
there's a
and a
flag
flag
down
on the
there, though.
play.
That's
And if he
Kogan
calls that
and
holding,
Greco are looking
there's
at each
about
other down
no
there.
way he can call that holding.
I think they're going to call that, exactly.
Well, they're discussing it right now. Holding Red Tornadoes. We say there's no way they can call it holding. How did we even know it was holding, though?
We're just getting good at this, that's all.
No, I think we were really looking at the play is what happened.
Well, you knew it was between Greco and Koga. They were both standing there, and the flag almost hit the two of them. And they were, the sure sign was they were both shaking their head no. So that was the giveaway on that play.
2nd down for the Red Tornadoes. Shedleski on a straight drop back, and there was a blitz there. And that was, it really wasn't. It looks like a screen pass was setting up.
But 66 was blitzing. That was a blitz. It was a blitz.
Oh, okay.
And when you screen
You
like
let them
that,
through anyway, right?
he came through without anybody touching him, and that's what happened. Yeah, when you get a guy blitzing from the very start of a play on a screen pass, it's difficult.
3rd down situation for the Red Tornadoes. 3:50 left in the game. Shedleski on a straight drop back. Same play, just over the head of Joe Greco.
Well, he's got that 73 and 66 rushing him there. 66 has got to be 7 inches taller than him when he comes in. And it's really very difficult to see over him. Now we're going to see what the second team has lined up for a 4th and 21 call. What magical bag of tricks comes out of this one?
Hawkins going to throw the pass into the corner, and it was covered well by the West Hazelton defenders.
He had Chuck Mann out there, and he threw a pretty good pass.
He did.
To tell you the truth,
It was just covered really well.
Yeah, they just they smelled it out right away, and we're down there.
3:43 left in the ball game. 1st down, West Hazelton from the 20-yard line.
The fans are starting to file out, and I'll be truthful with you, I do not blame them.
It was a cold night at the Silver Bowl.
If I don't look down and look at my feet, I would not know they were there right now.
Tornadoes don't stop, boy. When they're coming, they are coming. Even these younger guys, when they're in there, they make sure they're going to put the guy down. Scott Paul made the initial hit in there over with Bob Belfani.
Shedleski actually was one that forced the play. He had the first hit. He didn't bring him down, but he hit him hard and drove him up outside a little bit, and that broke the play up.
Number 1, Blossy into the lineup for the Red Tornadoes. Also number 60, Jeff Motto. And number 3, Sweetra. Fumble on the play. West Hazelton recovers the ball, takes it around the right side for about a 2-yard gain. Tackle made in there by number 60, Jeff Motto.
He just went into the game. There's West Hazelton's luck. We're short a defensive back. The quarterback's watching him run onto the field, and instead of, I'm sure he's thinking, I might be able to throw a pass here. He's watching him run on the field, and he misconnects with the ball and drops it at the center. So nothing's going right their way tonight.
Oh, nice play made by Mike Fantanarosa.
Good play. Very good play.
Jed took his off, too. Maybe they're just giving it up, though. West Hazelton back to punt. Sweeter back to get the ball for the Red Tornadoes, and he takes it on about the 50-yard line, brings it down to the 40. He's still going on his feet, and he takes it to the 22, and that was a nice run for Sweeter.
Great run. Great run by Chris Sweeter. A lot of individual effort there. That really, for a guy that size, boy, he really made some moves in there. And he ran right over one guy there. I didn't see the number. But great run. Really was.
1:36 left in the ball game.
Those little guys can be dangerous. You give them a head of steam on them. You don't know what they're going to do. He
well,
was
they
wiggling
can
it all over.
run under the tackle.
He wiggled all over the place on that one side there.
Jeremy Blasi, quarterbacking for the Red Tornadoes. Hands off to the second back through Sweetra. He looks like he wants a touchdown bad.
Yeah, he came into the game and he came into the game with a bad attitude. He just wants to do something
go.
right now.
I want to run, coach.
He's going to knock somebody over if nothing else.
Second down and 2.
I said, these kids come in and they know this is their mark, their time to leave a mark that might last till next year with these coaches.
That's right.
They'll remember it, and that's what they're doing. And that's great.
Blasi checks his backfield. Sweeter again behind Bullock, down to the 5, or about the 10-yard line.
Yeah, a little over he's down inside the 10 now. Boy, he's running. He's making a great run here. He really is.
Blasi's hurrying up in the offense. They want one in here. You can tell.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that Sweeter is saying, let's go. Don't fool around. I think I can put this thing in.
Bullock up the middle. He's going. He's to the 2. He's still on his feet at the 1.
Oh, great effort. Great effort
by Bullock. 1-yard line. 29 seconds left. They're going to let him go for one here.
Yeah, they are. Well, what are you going to do? You can't tell them not
20 seconds. Blasi.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Red Tornadoes. But Sweeter made that drive. He came in with the attitude, I'm going to run it in for you, coach. He gained about maybe 50 of the 50-odd yards that they put in there, and you can credit that one to Chris Sweeter. Nice play for Chris.
Well, it's a good play by everybody. The second, third teams, all these kids really showed good for themselves tonight.
They're going to try for 2 points on the extra point. Sweeter, he wanted it, and he's got it.
I think you have West Hazelton, you would complain about a 2-point play when you're so far up, but what you had there was we don't have anybody that kicks it.
That's right.
I'm sure they didn't want to put West Lawson back in after sitting on the bench for fully a quarter and a half, make him go in and try and kick an extra point. We take a look down there, and we see the cheerleading staff celebrating our last touchdown here. And, boy, they do a heck of a job, I'll tell you, through the whole game, cheering us on down there. And I often wondered is how the only reason they're not cold is because they keep moving so much. By now, I would be down there, that'd be over for me. You'd be taking me out in an ambulance.
15 seconds left in the ball game. The score, the Red Tornadoes 41, the Wildcats 6. Fantini with the kickoff. He puts his foot into the ball. Dropped by number 44. Breaks it up through the middle. Stop made in there by number 84, Chuck Mann. Number 3, Sweetra. Down on the bottom of the pile.
Well, there was almost everybody on the pile.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch one number, though, that I saw in there on really on the hip. Was number 80 for the Red Tornadoes, Jeff Greco.
That's the ball game, folks.
Final score, Red Tornadoes 41, Wildcats 6. Well, Warren, the Tornadoes will wrap up a big win here and move on to Shikellamy, and one more win probably puts them into the Eastern Conference playoffs against Dunmore. The only consolation for West Hazelton tonight is by losing, it kept them in the playoff running for District 11.
Exactly. This is a case where both teams got exactly what they wanted. Mount Carmel needed to win to stay in the Eastern Conference playoff hunt. West Hazelton, unfortunately, needed to lose to stay in the district playoff hunt, which is an odd thing to have happen to you, to go into a game knowing if you lose, you come out better than if you win. But they played like they wanted to lose.
So they did actually come out better by losing this game tonight. They'll fall into place for District 11 championship probably against Nazareth. Mazatest, I guess, is the big word for tonight's ball game. He had over 200 yards on the ground.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to come out that way. It's you look at this game as two ways. One was a great individual game for Mazatest. You were hoping to see him go over 1,000 yards, which he did. The other thing was you were hoping that in a game like this, where you were obviously favored to win it, you're looking at one more game where you're also going to be favored to win, but you don't want any injuries. You want to be careful. You got some kids hurt now, and that's one kid, Quinn. Obviously, everybody's very worried about him. His knee was hurt pretty badly. They're not sure what it's going to come out to be. You don't want to lose another one, coming into the playoff season now. So that's what I know the coaches looked at that. Plus, everybody got to play, which is what you want to do. It keeps the whole team happy when everybody gets in and takes a hit on somebody. So everybody got what they wanted tonight. Unfortunately, West Hazelton got a loss, but like I said, it doesn't bother them because they needed it, and that's okay for them.
Well, a big win for the Red Tornadoes. We'll see everybody next week against Shikellamy here on Wednesday night. Good night.
Good night.